and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new to my channel and you have stumbled across this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you read and are obsessed with all things books like I am, especially romance, fantasy, and thrillers, then you're in the right place. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to answer some book tag questions that nobody asked for. So it's going to be kind of like more of a bookish chit chat where I will be answering some questions that will help you get to know me a little bit better as a reader and as a book content creator, and some of my goals for reading in 2025. Let's get started. Question 1, how many books am I planning on reading in 2025? So I have set my 2025 reading goal to be 50 books. I read 51 books last year in 2024. I've just set the goal again for 50, and if I happen to pass that, great. But I do have some large fantasy books on the TBR for 2025 this year, so we'll see how quickly I can get through those. My next video is going to be 25 books for 2025, so stay tuned for that, and I will talk about the top 25 books that I want to read that are on my TBR for this year, as well as some new upcoming releases that I am very excited for in 2025. Question 2, what is a book that I am likely to reread this year? I don't know about this one. I personally don't really see myself doing any rereads this year, if at all. If I read anything this year, it could possibly be A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen, as the second book to that saga is releasing this year, but I don't know. I want to read a lot of new books, so I don't know if I'll be doing any rereads. Okay, question 3, a priority read on your 2025 TBR. So I have a few, but I think I'm currently reading Onyx Storm, as is the rest of the book community right now, or at least a very large majority of it. But after I am finished that, some priority reads, I have kind of two I want to get to as priorities. Well, I have a few. One being the Lightlark series by Alex Astor. I have Lightlark and Nightbane, so I think that is a series that I think should be a priority for me because I didn't read it last year. Additionally, Quicksilver by Callie Hart and When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker are both some thicker fantasy books. Also A Throne of Glass. I have not started this series yet, so I think at least starting it and reading a couple could be a priority for this year. There's a lot to accomplish this year in reading for me. Question 4, something new I want to read this year, either in a new genre or new tropes to explore. I have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna on my TBR, and I think that would be something new for me. Especially genre-wise, because I have been really sticking to romance, thrillers, and fantasy. That is what I like to read. I believe this is historical fiction, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it and how it really made them cry. It was very emotional. It was very, very good. So I did pick that one up because I really don't cry or tear up in books. Like, I don't, and I feel like am I missing out? Like, I just see some people absolutely sob over books, and I don't know, I've just never really been like that. So I'm going to try that one and see how that goes for me. Question 5 is a popular book that I want to read, which I feel like could be any of the priority reads that I listed, especially the Throne of Glass series. I feel like that one is quite popular, so I'm going to say that one. My most anticipated 2025 book release. I think it honestly already came out. I think the most anticipated release was Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, and I did pre-order that, so I did get it on release day, and I have just started it. Another highly anticipated release that is coming out for me personally, it comes out March 6th this year, is This Stays Between Us by Sarah Oakes, who is the same author that wrote The Resort, which I read in 2024 and I gave 5 stars to. I was absolutely obsessed with that book. The twists and the amount of twists was insane. So I'm very much anticipating the release of this book, as well as the book Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, which releases on April 8th. I'm also highly anticipating the release of the second book in the Saga of the Unfated series by Daniel Jensen. As I mentioned, I possibly might reread the first one, A Fate Inked in Blood, and then the second one is A Curse Carved in Bone, which I actually am very, very excited for this one. It comes out May 13th this year, and I really, really loved the first one, so I am actually very excited about this one. And a little fun fact, Danielle Jensen is a Canadian author, and her hometown, her home city, is not that far from where I live, like an hour away. So I thought that was pretty cool. A bookish goal for 2025 is the next question. And oh gosh, let's set one here together. I think what I want my bookish goal to be is to start and finish the Throne of Glass series. I think that's a good bookish goal. There's a lot of books in that series, and I have 50 books to achieve at least reading this year. So I think that's my bookish goal for 2025. Because it sure as hell is not going to be to read my entire TBR card before buying more books. That's just not realistic. Okay, next question. A book that's been on my TBR that I probably won't ever read. And I know just the one, which I actually did start it as an audiobook just very briefly. And the book I'm referring to is The Long Weekend by Gilly Macmillan. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to read it, to be honest. I tried to listen to like the first 30 minutes to an hour of it in an audiobook, and it was just not catching my attention. So it immediately went to like the bottom of my TBR list, and I don't know if I'll read it, to be honest. It's supposed to be a thriller, but it's not. It didn't catch me off the get-go. The concept of the story didn't really intrigue me that much, and to be honest, I just really want to dive into reading a lot of fantasy this year, so I just don't think I'll end up reading that one. Okay, my auto-buy authors going into 2025. I think this has been already addressed through some of my anticipated releases, but basically Danielle Jensen, Jennifer Lynn Armentrout is a big one for me, SJM, Kaylee Smith. There's a lot that I think I would auto-buy. Oh, a really, really big one is Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Auto-buy, immediately. I love her stuff. I loved the Inheritance games. I'm still going through it. Yeah, anything in that she releases as a continuation in that series or new things to come will be an auto-buy most likely. The next question is a book to show adaptation that I'm excited for this year, and I personally don't know of any that are being adapted to a TV show this year. If you are watching this and you know of some, please comment and let me know so I can be in the loop. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. I think I heard that the Lightlark series is becoming movies, which I 100% would watch. So that's why I really need to make those my priority read, or one of my priority reads for this year. I would absolutely love a Fourth Wing, the Empyrean series, just as a whole. I would love a TV show on that, or for those to be adapted into movies. So if anyone has heard an inkling about this, please let a girl know. I'm just putting it out there into the universe that Rebecca Yarros already has this on her mind and is working on this for us. Next question is bookish things that I want to continue in 2025. So this is an interesting one because it's not really like I kind of got into like annotating or anything and wish to continue that. But I have been slowly starting to collect more bookish merch. So I think I would like to continue that. Like get some more cute hoodies and sweatshirts that are book related, bookish merch. I just think more bookish merch is something that I would like to acquire more of in the year of 2025. If you know of any really good small businesses or websites that you can get bookish merch from, please let me know in the comments and I will go check them out and support them. Because obviously Indigo and Chapters are big companies that I can get bookish merch from here, but if I can support some smaller companies as well, I would love to do that. The next question is, how has my reading taste evolved from the past year? And this is a great question because I think my reading taste has actually evolved from a lot of thrillers. I used to read a ton of thrillers. When I first started getting into reading, that was my go-to genre. Thrillers, mysteries, that was my jam. I still love reading a good thriller, do not get me wrong. And I love using them as palate cleansers in between reading larger fantasy books or a fantasy series. But yeah, I definitely really got into fantasy about halfway through last year. So big shift towards fantasy, big shift for me following more fantasy book talk accounts and book creators that are reading fantasy and saving like all of their recommendations. So I do have a large chunk of fantasy books that are on my TBR list for this year. And that kind of leads also into the next question, which is what to expect from this account. So this is what you can expect from my booktube here. You can expect this from my bookstagram and my book talk, which are all reading with Richele. But from any of those accounts that you choose to follow, or if you follow all of them, you can expect book reviews, book recommendations, bookish humor, book thoughts, just pretty much anything under the sun that you could think of. You can expect honest reviews, real authentic content that involves me sharing the love of books and all things book related that I have with you. You can expect engagement. I want to engage with my followers, so I will ask you questions and I genuinely want to know your thoughts on that. So please, if I ask a question in a title, a caption, or in the video, give me your real thoughts. And it doesn't matter if you don't like the book I'm talking about. I'm interested to know what your other opinion or side of that, what you thought of that book is. So yeah, those are just a few things that you can expect from all of my book related accounts. Some other book creators who inspire me, and if I can tag them in this video so that you can go and find them, I will, but a few that just come off the top of my head is on Instagram anyways, Where's My Library Card. She is so funny and I get a lot of my inspiration from her. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Yana and Mariana Reads, especially Mariana Reads. I get a lot of fantasy recommendations from her accounts, and then from Yana, a lot of romance recommendations. One newer creator, well, she's not new, but she's new to me, that I have stumbled across is Mads Rafferty. And she's also actually an author, and I purchased one of her books, which is called Heir of Broken Fate. And so I'm very excited to read that. So I have recently come across her as well. So those are just a couple that come right to my mind immediately. If you have other booktube or book creators who inspire you, please tag them or let me know who they are so that I can check them out as well. And the last thing that I'm going to end on, the very last question, is what is something that you want to say to anyone wanting to start a booktube or a book account in some way? And honestly, what I would tell you is just to go for it, do it. If you genuinely love reading and you have a genuine passion for it, do it, go for it. Honestly, follow a ton of creators who inspire you, that you can get inspiration from. Figure out how you want to make your content your own from that. And don't give up. Also, lastly, do not give up. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't take off right away or you don't get the views that you want. Keep engaging with other people. That is key. If you engage with creators and your audience, they're more likely to engage with you as well. If you want to, just do it. Just do it. No regrets. Even if it's mostly just for yourself, your family, and friends, it makes me happy that I can at least even get some recommendations across to just a few people. And then they come back to me, they tell me how much I loved the book, and that makes me so happy. I I love that feeling, being able to recommend a book to somebody and then having them absolutely love it, and then they come and tell me, or maybe they come back and tell me some other thoughts that they had that I didn't even think about, or they have a different opinion. Like, I love that we can just have authentic conversation about books. And there's also a lot of humor in the book talk community as well, that I think it's just very easy to get along and connect with other book girlies, other book content creators. It's honestly one of the best communities in my opinion. So, all right, if you made it to the end of this video, again, thank you so much for watching. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I will put in the description where else you can find me, like my other accounts, as well as some of those creators that I mentioned that inspire me. I thought that this would be a really fun way for you to kind of get to know me as a reader, as a book content creator. And Mariana Reads, I actually watched her book tag video, and that's what inspired me to just answer the questions on my own and have it be more of a little book chit chat video vibe with you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video, which will be my 25 reads for 2025.